down and more at the 30-yard line. Finally brought down at the 28-yard line.
Hello and welcome back to Pleasant Grove Sports Network. I am Zane Grothy here with
Coleman Keel,
and we are ready to kick off the Pleasant Grove Vikings versus Maple Mountain, the Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, as both teams going into this game being 0-3. So no matter what happens this game, someone will have a win on their record. Pleasant Grove last game losing by only 1 point to
Green Canyon.
Thank you, Green Canyon. Score being 13-12.
Losing that game in a heartbreaking fashion if you're a Vikings fan. Getting the game-tying PAT blocked. Going on to not being able to recover an onside kick. Losing the game by 1 point.
And starting the game off going for a 2-point conversion, which obviously did not help whatsoever. On the other hand, Maple Mountain losing their last game to Pineview, 38-14. Coleman, what is something that Pleasant Grove and Maple Mountain both have to do if they want to have a chance to win this game?
Just need to execute on the simple things. Last week, we saw the Vikings struggle, making a lot of unforced errors, jumping off sides. They dropped a pass on 3rd and 1 that for sure would have gotten them the first down, if not a lot more. They jumped off sides on defense a couple times.
Yeah, there was a lot of flags.
For both teams, it's going to come down to who can execute on the simple things more efficiently and more consistently. Both teams are looking to turn their season around. This is the first game of region play for both teams.
Yeah, 100%. As next week, too, Pleasant Grove does play Springville at Springville, and Maple Mountain next week plays Payson at Payson. I believe Payson being 1-2, and Springville being, if their record 3-0. So Springville being a really a good team this year. They have Orem this week. As Pleasant Grove, you talked about it a little bit just barely, Coleman. A lot of just simple mistakes that Pleasant Grove needs to fix this game if they want a chance to win, and it's gone through the entire 3 games that we've played where it's just those little mistakes that have killed Pleasant Grove quite a bit, especially the flags. Like last game, nothing was going Pleasant Grove's way when it came to flags. As all captains for both teams meeting in the middle to see who wins coin toss. as we will wait to see who wins.
Just keep it where you are right now, and then.
The Vikings starting the game receiving the ball. We will get an early look in this game at the quarterback for the Vikings. First name?
Connor Ibarra.
Connor Ibarra. I remembered the Ibarra. I was going to say David, and I was like, that is not the correct name. Really, going back to something you pointed out at the end of the game last week, can he get comfortable in the pocket? He's been rolling out very early in the snap.
Yeah, I mean, it's worked too a few times. He is really good at rolling out, and he can throw on the run. Like, he's proven that the last 3 games that he can throw on the run and make those challenging throws. But yeah, staying in the pocket I think would help a lot more as Maple Mountain making out their entrance.
And awaiting the Vikings to make theirs.
Can you hear me good? I feel like my mic's a little quiet.
I can hear. There's a lot of music going on, too, around us.
As Pleasant Grove making their entrance to getting ready to start the game, running out with American flags.
Memorial Day being this past Monday, there's a lot of American flags on the sides of the backs of the bleachers on the home side. There's a few on the visitor side, but almost every other flag on the Viking side of the stadium is an American flag. Team coming out for the Vikings. Looking to start off this game a lot better than they started off last week. I'm one. Our headsets are switched, so sorry if you couldn't hear what I just said. Vikings looking to start off this game hotter than they started the last one. Going 4 and out, really, failing to convert on a 4-point attempt, or 4-point on a 4th down as touchback for the Vikings. Ball will be on the 20-yard line. And now Connor Ibarra for the Vikings, hopefully looking to get something going. Well, all teams are looking to get something going, just trying to start it off hot. Do you start with a run, or if you're the Vikings, do you try to take a deep shot to establish the tone?
I think, honestly, maybe start with a run. I feel like our run game has been one of our strongest suits so far with Tavake Tavake Wolfgram being our main running back as being only a sophomore. I think maybe try to run the ball to start off the game, but passing wouldn't be a bad option either, as putting Adam Wright in motion, giving it straight back to Dexton Nuttall.
Starting with the reverse, gaining maybe a yard on the play. Little bit of misdirection from the Vikings, not getting the Golden Eagles to bite on the play, making it 2nd and basically 10, 2nd and 9.5.
As Zabar gives it to Tavake Wolfgram. Tavake Wolfgram almost getting out of the tackle as he gets pushed out to Pleasant Grove sideline.
Gain of another yard for the Vikings makes it 3rd and about 8. Now, for the Vikings, you got to be thinking pass. Try to get a first down on your first drive. Last week, being in a very similar spot, getting almost all of it on the 3rd down, failing to get it on the 4th down.
Yeah. As Connor Barr fakes the handoff, trying to take himself out the pocket. As Connor Barr just fighting to get those extra yards. Connor Barr has pretty much the entire line on him.
Makes it 4th and 4 for the Vikings, as on will come the punt team. Not the way you're looking to start after last week for the Vikings. Failing, as we've mentioned several times, to get a first down, and now here, at least punting the ball away better than giving it to Maple Mountain on the 26. It's a short punt, takes a very friendly bounce for the Vikings. It landed on the 45 and rolled 15 yards, putting the Golden Eagles on the 29.5-yard line.
As I feel like something we've seen from Pleasant Grove too in the last games, when they start getting moving, they get moving. And I think everyone can agree on that. But I feel like towards the start of the game, their weakest point is getting past the 25-yard line. I feel like they've gotten stopped there so many times in the past games, and that's just something, again, where they just need to fix it and figure out how they're going to get past there. Because when they start moving, they're moving, and they're a hard team to stop.
And especially in the second half, but so far this year, the Viking defense has been pretty good.
Yeah.
They've had a couple of rough stretches, but they haven't really been that bad. They got a pick 6 last game as Maple Mountain gets a gain of 5. But they haven't been a bad defense. The offense just keeps getting stalled at the 26. Or they're going 3 and out and not giving the defense a chance to catch their breath.
Yeah. As the quarterback for Maple Mountain, Hayden Hyatt.
Oh, shoot.
As Hyatt hands it off.
For a gain of 2.5 on the play. Giving it to Brooks Ross for the Golden Eagles. Makes it 3rd and about 4 for Maple Mountain. As Cruz Sierra in the backfield with Hayden Hyatt. Both players listed as quarterbacks.
As the snap is low, going to Cruz.
It's a big gain for Maple Mountain. Pushed out of bounds at the Viking 42. The big first down for Maple Mountain early in this game. Trying to get on the board first to make it that much harder for the Vikings to win.
As a handoff again for Maple Mountain.
Give to Michael Davis on the play, who was in the backfield on the last play instead of Cruz Serra. He lined up at tight end, as he is on this play. The give again, almost gets stopped in the backfield, recovered regains his feet, rather. I cannot talk right now, apparently. And gets a pretty decent gain on 2nd and long for the Golden Eagles, making it around 3rd and 5. 3rd and 6.
That's Hyatt getting ready to. As Hyatt trying to get Pleasant Grove to jump off sides, and it does not work. As Hyatt looking at his coach, trying to get a new play call.
That was another thing that caused the Vikings some frustration last game. The defensive line jumped off sides.
As Hyatt going deep. And is just barely missed by number 1, Kyron Jones. As that would have been huge for the Eagles.
As man down for the Vikings after that play. But as I was saying, the Viking defense last week looked very disciplined in the second half as Michael Llewellyn is the down player for the Vikings.
The defensive end.
But there were times where the defensive line would jump off sides in the first half that in the second half, Green Canyon rather, I did it that time, tried to catch the Vikings to jump to get a first down, and the Vikings would not move. As flag comes in during a discussion with one of the coaches for Maple Mountain. That could be huge.
Yeah.
In a terrible way for the I'm just going to say the Eagles, because Golden Eagles is too much. That could be huge. It's roughly 4th and 5, potentially in field goal range. This is a 57-yard field goal, which not easy at any level, but especially not easy at the high school level. This would push them back potentially 15 yards to the other 45 as unsportsmanlike conduct called on Maple Mountain. That will be a 15-yard penalty, and it will push them back to the other 45-yard line. As now Maple Mountain definitely going to have to punt. Field goal already wasn't really an option. Now it's especially not an option on the 47-yard line.
I think someone took out his knee. That's why they called it.
That is disastrous for Maple Mountain.
With you guys. Yeah, it was you, wasn't it? It was you, wasn't it?
There was an unsportsmanlike penalty on Maple Mountain.
Both teams are taking the field. Connor Llewellyn is still down.
Michael Llewellyn.
Michael Llewellyn, sorry. Connor is just stuck in my head now because I'm trying to remember for Connor Ibarra.
From what I heard from our producer, sounded like someone might have taken out his knee, which would not be good at all for Michael Llewellyn, as being our starter defensive end, as he has been on the ground for a while, as now he is sitting up.
Which is always a good sign. Looks like they're treating his left arm as still don't know what's happening. Both teams took the field like they were ready to go, as now he lays back down. This is just an unfortunate situation for the Vikings, especially if it's taking this long.
As both teams now back on the field. Michael Llewellyn standing up.
Being helped off the. It's a good sign, regardless. Him being able to walk off the field is a good thing. The snap was almost fumbled into a Viking defender. Great punt, touched by the Vikings, scooped up.
Dexter Nuttall running to on the sideline of the Vikings.
Gets it out to about the 15-yard line, as that play could have been bad for the Vikings.
As once again, hopefully everything is okay with Michael Llewellyn. Looks like it
Being
is
checked out on the sideline.
Looks like it
Getting
was a
his
possible concussion.
The best sign to come from that play is that he was able to walk off of the field.
Yeah.
Anything else would have been disastrous. And it's already a bad situation.
As Ibarra getting Maple Mountain's line to jump off sides.
Offsides against Maple Mountain, 5-yard penalty.
That is huge for the Vikings. Pushes them up 5 yards. Shortens the down and distance.
Ibarra fakes the handoff, gives it.
Oh, shoot.
Gives it to number 24. Ryder Huntsman.
With the reception,
This might be an obvious announcement, but Michael Llewellyn will not be coming back. His pads have been taken by team officials, and he is being checked out by the medical staff on the sideline. Hopefully everything is okay as the Vikings get a short. Actually, that's a pretty decent gain on first down. Brings up second and about 5.
to impose. Carries
Now a Maple Mountain player down
Holding his
on
knee.
the Viking hash.
time out on the field.
This is an unfortunate start for both teams. Nobody wants to see two dudes get injured this early into the game. We are less than 5 minutes in, and there have already been 2 injuries. Michael Llewellyn being terrible, down for so long with what looks like a concussion.
And now a Maple Mountain player on the ground holding his knee. I could not see a number, so I cannot tell you who it is.
Hopefully both players are okay.
As
Gets up.
it's number 4, Ethan Antonio, getting helped off the field, jumping on 1 foot.
Ankle injury to the right foot. Unfortunate for Maple Mountain, a senior DB, most likely a huge part of their defense. Again, the fortunate thing is that they were able to go off basically on their own accord. As the officials gathering at the 45-yard line, discussing something from that last play.
As both teams now losing 2 key players for their teams, both being defensive players too.
Yeah. I'm still talking about something.
As now a Pleasant Grove coach coming out.
This is a very interesting start to this football game that I don't think anybody saw coming when we kicked off. With 7:16 left in the first quarter, we're less than 5 minutes into this. And 2 major injuries, as now the Vikings will have a second and about 5, maybe second and 6 from the 37.
As both teams now are taking the field. Connor Ibarra fakes the handoff, taking himself to the left, breaks 1 tackle, gets through, gets past another tackle. and goes out to Pleasant Grove sideline.
Great run by Connor Ibarra, breaking the first tackle, making a man miss on the run, getting into the Maple Mountain side of the 50. As now the Viking offense, as you mentioned, getting some momentum, starting to march. As the wide receiver screen gets the Vikings about 5 on the play.
As Connor Ibarra ends up throwing it to number 9, Adam Wright. Connor Ibarra hands it off.
A short gain there for the Vikings. Makes it 3rd and about 3. As if the Vikings can get this first down, they won't be that far away from the area of the field that they've really struggled in, which no coach and no fan wants to hear. It's the red zone. They've really struggled once they've gotten to the red zone to score. Drives stalling and resulting in field goals.
As number 32, Rocky Wilcox, gets the first down for the Vikings.
The Maple Mountain coaches upset about something they saw on that play. The handoff met in the backfield, losing a yard for the Vikings, making it 2nd and 11.
As number 6, Cohen Vose, being the intended runner on that play.
Makes it 2nd and 11 on the 35 for the Vikings. Now a timeout called by the Vikings.
Timeout, Pleasant Grove.
With 5:04 left on 2nd and 11. Coach seeing something he didn't like before the play. Has to burn one in the first quarter. We saw a similar situation happen last week, burning a timeout in the first quarter for the Vikings.
With only 9 minutes in the quarter, and the same thing happening in the same game in the third quarter. And I mean, honestly, I think you can agree with me, that did not help the Vikings whatsoever to blow that timeout so early in the game. As hopefully they don't make the same mistake, and hopefully they can be able to move, as they're already moving right now. But the one thing I do want to say is the 2 injuries. That's going to take a massive pull on both teams. Like, I feel like it goes for any sports. Like, if one of your main players gets hurt, like, and you're still out on the field playing or on like the court for basketball, like, you gotta be focused. But at the same time, I feel like a lot of the players are like, oh, is he okay? And it's distracting you, which obviously is not. You don't want that to happen.
Especially with nothing but region play left. You want your guys to be locked in, as pretty decent gain for the Vikings. Makes it 3rd and 6, maybe 3rd and 5. But neither coach really wanting their players to be distracted by the just unfortunate injuries being treated on their sidelines right now. Connor Ibarra trying to get Maple Mountain to jump. Maple Mountain not biting. Now the play call change for the Vikings. Faking the handoff. Stepping up in a collapsing pocket, making a man miss. Short of the first down. Makes it 4th and 1 for the Vikings. On the 25-yard line. You mentioned it at the start. This is where the Viking offense has really struggled. Not even questioning keeping it on. Only needing a yard. Maple Mountain loading the box. The fake handoff. Pocket collapsing. Does he get the first down? Still waiting for a signal. both sides thinking it's their first down. First down, Maple Mountain. Connor Ibarra being short of the line to gain as on comes the defense for the Vikings. That's really close to being a first down. Needed to get to the 29. The ball is on the 24-yard line. Correction. Ball is on the 24.5. Just so close for the Vikings to getting the first down. Unable to pick it up on the ground. As now, here comes the Maple Mountain offense. The officials discussing something for a second before getting ready to play. Just under 4 minutes left in the quarter. The toss to the back goes nowhere for Maple Mountain. A lot of black Viking jerseys there to smother the play before it could really get started.
As I do want to say, for Pleasant Grove, we talked about at the start where Connor Ibarra probably wants to try staying in the pocket longer than he has been these last games, and he was doing it, and he just did it when Pleasant Grove had the ball, and I personally think it helped because, I mean, we saw it in the pocket. He didn't have anything open and just went up the gap that he had instead of just rolling out at the very start.
The toss to the back, not there, smothered by number 50, Matt Frankum. I know two Matts, and one of them is that Matt. That one's Matt Frankum. Tackled for a big loss. Makes it 3rd and 13 for the Vikings. .236 left in the quarter. As the screen not there for Maple Mountain. Ball comes out. First down, Vikings on the 15. Ball knocked loose by Matt Frankum. Recovered by the Viking defense. First down in the red zone. That is what the Vikings needed to light a spark in their offense. Needing 17 yards to score, being well within field goal range. As now can Connor Ibarra and the Viking offense punch it in. The pitch almost fumbled. Taken down in the backfield. As you can hear the Viking fans' reactions to that tackle, as the Viking sideline didn't like it either. Nothing called, as 2nd and long now for the Vikings. The rollout in trouble. Connor Ibarra has to throw it away at the feet of Tavake Wolfgram out of the backfield. Maple Mountain wanting intentional grounding called. 1:42 left for the Vikings, 3rd and 17. This is not how they wanted the drive to go after the fumble forced by Matt Frankum. As now the Vikings needing to get to the 8-yard line to get a first down. Wolfgram motions out of the backfield. Ibarra gets sacked. Tried to make a man miss in the backfield. It did not work. The sack on the play for Maple Mountain done by Tay Mauga. Making it 4th and long, as it looks like the Vikings are leaving the offense on the field. going for it from the 28-yard line. An interesting play call, to say the least. We saw them be similarly aggressive last week, but that was in short yardage situations, rather. Bringing out all the linemen on 4th and 17. Faking the shovel pass and running out of bounds on 4th and 17. An interesting play call. Maybe a misread read by Connor Ibarra on the reverse, not giving it, keeping it himself, and just running basically straight out of bounds, stopping the clock with 51 seconds left and giving Maple Mountain not great field position, but there's still the second quarter to get to. Just interesting decisions being made on the Vikings sideline right now. A deep shot by Maple Mountain, way overthrown. That could have been deadly, as the receiver Brooks Ross had his defender beat on the sideline, Adam Wright. As if that pass connects by Hayden Hyatt, that is most likely a touchdown.
Yeah. As the handoff for Maple Mountain.
Met in the backfield. The back stays up, gains about 5, making it 3rd and fairly long for Maple Mountain. The clock running down. They do not have to snap another play before the end of the quarter, and it does not look like they will, as both teams being pulled to the sideline with 5 seconds left. So, tied at 0, neither team getting off to the hot start that they wanted. Now back from the quarter break, as not sure why the Vikings didn't try some form of kick, as a fake handoff for Maple Mountain gets them 4th and 1 on the 36-yard line. Can the Viking defense, as another injury, which has really just continued to plague this game.
As the injury is for Maple Mountain.
As this is not anything that anybody connected to these teams, frankly, wants to see. I'm at a loss of words for it. This is just unfortunate. First, the injury to Michael Llewellyn for the Vikings, who is still being checked out on the sideline by the medical staff.
I believe he is on their bench, the medical bench. My guess is if it's a concussion, he'll be there the rest of the game.
Since he's laid down, he has not moved. And then now 2 injuries for Maple Mountain. Just possibly the worst start to the game, as it's Hayden Hyatt,
their quarterback,
getting hurt. The starting quarterback for Maple Mountain. A similar thing happened last week, if you remember, for Green Canyon. They started the game with, I don't remember his name, but they started the game with a different quarterback than they started the second half with.
Yeah.
Because he got injured, and now similar situation for the Vikings. Just an unfortunate start.
As now I believe Cruz Sierra will come in. As it is kind of interesting, as Sierra is listed on Max Preps as a quarterback and a tight end. As I feel like I've never seen that combo before.
You're not on the punter. Go back.
That is the punt team for the Maple Mountain, rather, not the Vikings. Ball bounces at the 35 and rolls out at the 28, rather, for the Vikings. Can they get something going? Connor Ibarra doing a much better job so far in this game of staying in the pocket when he can. Really made Maple Mountain feel it in the first couple of drives. Stayed in, made a couple of throws, and then when he rolled out, Maple Mountain didn't really know what to do.
As also I feel like Pleasant Grove's got to change something up. Maple Mountain has been all over Pleasant Grove's running game, as Pleasant Grove really hasn't been able to make crazy offense running. Nevertheless, passing, as they had one good drive as of so far. As I feel like their passing game is just much stronger right now. As Connor Barr fakes the handoff, trying to roll out, goes deep to
Wide
Rocky
open
Wilcox.
right receiver. Pass is
Wilcox.
caught at the 42-yard line in Maple Mountain territory. A big play to start this drive. As you were saying, the Vikings switching it up, going for a deep shot instead of how they've been playing to start the game, fairly conservatively with runs and a couple of reverses and sweeps. A huge gain for the Vikings. Could be the spark they need to finally score in this game and break the tie, as the sweep held onto by Ibarra gets a gain of about 7.
As I feel like for coaches and even the quarterback, when you're doing those QB runs, that's probably one of the scariest things, because you don't want your quarterbacks to get injured.
Especially with the recent trend of this game, with just the unfortunate injuries plaguing both teams. The handoff met in the backfield for the Vikings, gets driven backwards. Vake Wolfgram losing about 4 yards on the play. Taking it from 2nd and 3 to 3rd and 7. Maybe 3rd and 8 for the Vikings. Empty backfield as Maple Mountain jumps. Will undo most of the loss on the previous play. Frankly, genius play calling. Getting the penalty to be essentially wiped away, making it 3rd and 2 again for the Vikings. Might have even gained a yard off of the penalty. As now 3rd and very short, still an empty backfield. Maybe a QB draw. A false start on the Vikings. Re-adds the yardage. As going from a play that went extremely well for the Vikings to now play going extremely the wrong way. taking them back the 5 yards, making it 3rd and 7 again. Empty backfield once again. Play call change for the Vikings. Puts Tavake Wolfgram rather, into motion. Pitches it to him out of the backfield. A flag comes in, most likely a holding on Carter Wilkes. Carter Wilkes. Excuse me. Will push the Vikings back even further.
Holding against the Vikings.
You know it's bad when I can spot it from up here. As things just went from bad to worse for the Vikings. Now needing 18 yards to convert a first down. Really needing an individual moment here by someone, potentially, or just a handoff and you send out the punt team and try to do better on the next drive. They fake the handoff, going deep, getting the first down. I stand corrected. First down, Vikings. Catch made by Carter Wilkes, making up for the hold that pushed the Vikings back. First down at the 26 for the Vikings. Now the handoff to Tavake Wolfgram. It's a decent gain on first down with less than 8.5 minutes left in the first half. I almost said first quarter. Now the Vikings knocking on the door, hoping to end their woes of being scoreless in the red zone. With flag coming in, another false start on the Vikings. It's going to push them back,
5-yard penalty.
making it 2nd and about 10, maybe 2nd and 11. Just continuing the unfortunate trend of big play, or at least a positive play, being wiped away by a foul, even going back to last week.
Yeah.
Now empty backfield for Ibarra. Throws it deep to Adam Wright and throws it out of bounds at the 3. Would have been a huge play if Adam Wright had been able to get to it. Makes it 3rd and 11 for the Vikings. As if they're unable to score a touchdown, you got to be thinking what if on the sideline, right? They had 2nd and 5, gets wiped away by a false start, and now you might not be able to house it.
As Connor Ibarra fakes the handoff to Tavake Wolfgram as flag on the play.
Connor Ibarra getting nailed on the pass. Waiting to see what the call is. Holding on the Vikings. Penalty is declined. It'll be 4th down and 11 for the Vikings. If you're the Vikings, do you send out the field goal unit?
I
just
think
take
so.
the
Maybe
points?
Try to get the points on the board. I mean, there's still 7 minutes, 47 seconds left in the second quarter. I mean, you might as well try to get points now and take the early lead.
As that is what the Vikings are doing. Field goal unit comes on.
as
The field goal is good for the Vikings. Potentially a scary moment if you're a Vikings fan thinking back to last week, getting the PAT blocked. Fortunately not the case. Field goal good by Joaquin Oberhansley for the Vikings. Gives them the lead 3-0 late in the second half.
That's going to be huge for the Vikings, as now they have points on the board, and that's just going to get the team more hyped.
That field goal being huge for the Vikings. Neither team so far being able to put any points on the board. Now the kickoff returnable. As a flag comes in. Looks like it's a holding. The coaches on the PG sideline unhappy about something going down at the end of the play.
As the return from Maple Mountain, number 22, Lyndon Robinson.
Waiting for the call.
As
it is a holding on Maple Mountain that'll push them back inside the 15.
This game has just been mixed with everything. Injuries back to back, and now you have flags after flags after flags.
All for the same thing. There's been like 3 consecutive holding calls.
Yeah.
As hopefully the field goal for the Vikings able to get them out of some of their I can't think of the word. Like, hopefully able to get something going maybe after the unfortunate injuries that have plagued the game today. Short gain by Maple Mountain. Just, as you mentioned, huge swings of emotions for both teams, starting with just the terrible injury luck for either team.
Yeah.
2 for Maple Mountain, 1 for PG, but 1 nasty one for PG.
As if actually, no matter what, if it's a concussion, he's out the rest of the season.
Yeah.
Don't know about the other 2 players from Maple Mountain, as the
errant pass
as the intended receiver on the play, as I clicked out of the roster.
Been experiencing some technical issues on our last couple of broadcasts if you were with us for the volleyball game at Salem Hills.
As the intended receiver for that play, number 6, Brooks Ross.
Now 3rd and 7 for Maple Mountain. Really trying to get something going. Empty backfield. Sack by the Vikings. That is a huge loss, as now Maple Mountain really has no choice but to punt. The sack on the play by Christian Hughes. As the Vikings are in a spot where they can start with some great field position following this punt. The return man is standing at his own not even at his own 40, at his own 37-yard line. The Vikings looking to start on a great spot. Punt is blocked out of the back of the end zone. Safety, as this continues to be one of the most interesting games of football ever. As we give you a second look, the punter taking too much time getting the kickoff. goes out of the end zone. The score is 5-0 for the Vikings.
As it was blocked by number 13, Drew Jensen.
When was the last time you saw a football game have a score of 5 for either team? This continues to turn out to be one of the craziest football games I've ever seen. Sometimes crazy for the good, sometimes crazy good, sometimes crazy bad.
100%. As also, we forgot to mention the new quarterback for Maple Mountain taking Hayden Hyatt's place. Number 15, Dallin Meller. Oh. The quarterbacks looked like his number was 15, as it looks like it might be number 16, Cole Allred, the freshman who's listed as a quarterback. As
now Maple Mountain to kick it away to the Vikings. As now the interesting score could be wiped away with a touchdown and a 2-point for the Vikings. That would make it 14-0. No, that would make it 13-0. Correction. That would make it 13-0.
Just such a wild game, this game being all over the place today. As 6:09 left to play in the second quarter, as the
booming kick returned from the 22-yard line for Pleasant Grove.
Number 9, Adam Wright.
It's a big return. Takes it out to the 43-yard line. 1st and 10, Vikings, 6:03 left in the first quarter. Can Connor Ibarra and the Vikings build on the momentum they gained from the blocked punt and the made field goal and really march down and take this thing further out of reach for Maple Mountain? Really only down a touchdown. They would be up by 2 if they got it, which, again, is crazy. This game is turning into just a wild swing, just a wild emotional night for both teams.
Just not something you think would happen as Connor Ibarra fakes the handoff. Now Connor Ibarra taking it up the pocket himself.
It's a big gain, potentially a first down for the Vikings. Call it short, 2nd and 1, maybe, for the Vikings. That is a great start for Connor Ibarra. The give gets the Vikings the first down, puts them in Golden Eagle territory with 5:30 left in the first half.
Another Viking. That's another Viking.
Now the play call still getting into the Vikings. The play clock on the field is not turned on.
As number 24, Ryder Huntsman, comes in for number 88, Landon Force Pointer.
Now empty backfield for the Vikings.
Connor Ibarra
Quick
looking to
pass.
Rocky Wilcox.
Gets most of the way, if not all the way, for a first down. He is marked at the 33, right at the first down marker as they give it to him. Empty backfield again for Connor Ibarra. Drops back. Looking deep over the
Ryder
middle.
Huntsman.
Big catch by Ryder Huntsman. Puts the Vikings at the 15 and deep in the red zone. Looking for a touchdown here. 4:25 left in the first half. Looking to get up 13-0 with a potential 2-point conversion. Looking to get up at least 12-0 off of a touchdown and a PAT. Man in motion for the Vikings.
As number 88, Landon Force Pointer, came in for number 9, Adam Wright. Connor Ibarra looking to the left, Ryder Huntsman.
Marked down at the 9-yard line. The Vikings can get a first down without scoring. First down marker is at about the 5. this possession could be huge. Not enough field to drain the clock to halftime, but you can get it pretty close if you time it right. And you can go into halftime up by 2 scores.
Connor Barr looking at Tavake Wolfgram. Wolfgram getting around on the side. And getting brought as the ball is out, but
Marked down first. Give him a gain of 1. It's going to make it 3rd and 5 for the Vikings.
Third down.
As if this drive stalls out, the Vikings are going to have some serious questions to ask at halftime. A main one I would think is Connor Ibarra still your guy?
Yeah. And honestly, I think it would be smart to keep him in, as our 2 backups are good. But Connor Ibarra has proven himself so far he has done pretty good. It's been hard. He's been playing against tough defenses. He has to get the ball off quick, as Connor Ibarra looking into the end zone. Attended receiver number 9, Adam Wright, not being able to get to the ball. So the ball just a little bit overthrown and too high. As it is 4th down, now Pleasant Grove bringing out the field goal unit.
As now Vikings looking to get up 8-0 off of a field goal, a blocked punt for a safety, and another field goal. Number 38 to kick for the Vikings. TJ Ashby,
As the kick
he
is
buries
good.
the field goal.
As TJ Ashby does have the leg, he is a soccer player as well.
Going back to what you were saying about Connor Ibarra and the potential quarterback situation for the Vikings, Drake Stanley and Brighton Balser are both seniors.
We also have Cannon Jacobson, the junior, as well.
As Ibarra himself is just a junior, you could theoretically pull him, put in one of the 2 seniors, or potentially the other junior, and try to get Ibarra to develop a little more going into next season.
100%.
Because there's been times the past few games where it looks like Connor Ibarra is just pulling it for no reason, and the other team is starting to pick up on it and game plan around him pulling it on the options. And admittedly, he's making them pay, but they can also just tell that he's going to pull it more often than not.
Yeah.
The kick bounces at the 10. Rough block as things are getting chippy on the field, to put it lightly, for both teams. So now, can the Viking defense continue to pitch a shutout against Maple Mountain? 2:20 left in the half.
As I feel like, as well, Pleasant Grove's defense has been able to prove themselves this season. And you also have to think, their first 2 games, it was, they lost by 30-plus points, I believe. It was like both teams scoring 30-something points, Pleasant Grove only having 3, I believe, for both games. It might have been more for Westlake, as it was way more for Westlake. Oh my gosh, I cannot speak anymore.
For Maple Mountain gets them a huge first down on the first play of the drive, looking to build on momentum.
As Pleasant Grove's first game playing American Fork already being such a hard team to play against. Holding American Fork to 35 points, but Pleasant Grove only scoring 3. Pleasant Grove being able to keep Westlake at 45 points.
It's the hurry-up offense for Maple Mountain on a quick out. Goes basically nowhere, gained maybe an inch on the play. Then, as you were saying, last week in the Green Canyon game, it was 13-6 for a good chunk of the second half.
Yeah.
until on the final Viking drive, marching down, scoring a touchdown, kicking a PAT to potentially tie it and play for overtime. Getting the PAT blocked as the rollout by the freshman quarterback looking deep. Picked off by the Vikings. Huge play by the Viking defense. Viking first down at the 38-yard line with 1:22 left. Can the Vikings go down and score another touchdown?
As number 8, Ethan Passy, being able to come out with that interception, as that is huge for Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove having so much momentum right now with only a minute 22 left to play in the first half.
Now looking to go 2-minute drill and march down the field and score. You still have 2 timeouts. They burned one late in the first quarter. Ibarra fixing something at the line, maybe changing a blocking assignment. Going under center. Pulls the handoff on a sweep that is almost fumbled and will lose a good chunk of yardage for the Vikings, almost 10 yards on the bad handoff. Makes it 2nd and 18 for the Vikings. That could potentially kill this drive and leave the Vikings to just have to drain the clock as the empty backfield. Another flag comes in on a false start for the Vikings. Just unraveling after a huge pick. Set them up fairly well. Makes it 2nd and 23. And the good news is it's only 2nd down. The bad news is 23 yards is a good long distance to go.
And you only have 47 seconds left.
At this point, do you just take a knee and let it run to halftime? Is Maple Mountain going to call their timeouts and force you to just play?
I feel like Maple Mountain, they don't have anything to lose if they force you to play and use their timeouts. As Connor Barr
on the delayed screen, dumps it down, picks up a good chunk of the penalty yardage back, making it 3rd and 11. As the clock is running, neither team calling a timeout. The Vikings don't have to snap another play. Less than 30 seconds in the half. Empty backfield again for Ibarra. Snaps the ball with about 20 seconds left and gets
and the ball
sacked in the backfield. Scooped up by Maple Mountain. 12 and a half seconds left. That is potentially disastrous for the Vikings as
flags on the play.
Flags coming in late after the play too. This could take it from bad to worse if this is an unsportsmanlike conduct or something similar on the Vikings. It's called on Maple Mountain. That is terrible for Maple Mountain. That's going to push them back 15 yards. They were set up on the 24, now set up on the 39-yard line. I couldn't do the math for a second. Had to watch where the official stopped. As 12 and a half seconds left in the half. You got to think Maple Mountain's going to go for the touchdown.
You have to, yeah. I mean, I would say, from what I would think, is get a quick playoff, call a timeout, and go for the field goal. If you don't get the touchdown.
That's a far field goal.
I mean, that's true. It depends though, because say they were to go for it, get a quick pass off, and gain yards off of it. They can get good yards off of a pass, as they will pass it.
Stays in bounds. As you said, timeout called. 4.6 seconds left. Ball on the 34-yard line.
I mean, what do you think, Coleman? You think they try to just go for the touchdown, or kick the field goal and try to get the 3 points?
At this point, honestly, I would go for a touchdown. There's 4 seconds left. It's going to take you about 5 seconds to get the play off and get your receivers a chance to get into the end zone.
Yeah.
The real question is, can the line block, and does their new quarterback have the arm to throw it the 34 yards that he needs?
As it is Cole Allred, number 16, and he is only a freshman.
Does Maple Mountain trust their kicker or their quarterback more in this situation? I know in this situation, at least in Madden and college football, I go for it because frankly, it's a touchdown and you can get it pretty easily typically, but so far this game, neither team has been able to score a touchdown yet. The Vikings have 8 points off of 2 field goals and a safety.
Yeah.
That was really a fluke safety. Like, you can't bank on that being how you get it, as Maple Mountain is going to go for it. Can't blame them for the call. There really was no correct option.
Yeah, 100%. As having to look deep.
Picked off by the Vikings. Dangerous return building. Picked off again by number 8. Cuts back. Makes 2-man miss. And gets tackled at the 29-yard line as the clock hits 0 in the first half.
As picked off by number 0, Dexton Nuttall.
For the Vikings, crazy return and a fitting way to end the half based on how this game started. 8-0 for the Vikings, as it will be Maple Mountain ball after that half. Vikings 8, Golden Eagles 0.
Still going, gains first down and more at the 30-yard line. Finally brought down at the 28-yard line.
As here we go to start off the second half. Maple Mountain going to receive the ball as Pleasant Grove being up by 8 points. As here we go, TJ Ashby getting ready to start off the second half. As the kick not far enough to be a touchback, as he is going to be forced to return it. As Jake Bill's barely missing the
flag coming in. Potentially a hold or a block in the back on the missed Bills tackle in that return. As immediately in the second half, just another big penalty. As neither team being able to avoid them so far. Holding on Maple Mountain, that could be catastrophic. As now Maple Mountain starting 5 yards further back. Which doesn't seem like a big deal, but in as much of a game of inches as this football is, 5 yards is huge.
100%. And Maple Mountain being down 8-0, they need to get something going, and it needs to be this quarter.
Correction, 10-yard penalty puts Maple Mountain at the 10. Now the freshman quarterback fakes the pitch, keeps it himself, runs it up the middle, and gets a gain of about 7 on first down. Cole Allred for the Golden Eagles, taking it upfield, making it second and about 7. Or second and 2, rather. Sorry, picks up 7 or 8. I just don't know football, apparently. Picks up 8, makes it second and 7 for Maple Mountain. There we go. Rough start for everybody, apparently, coming into this half. As the Maple Mountain run does not go anywhere. Maybe a gain of 1 on the play, making it still third and very short for the Golden Eagles. Now, if you're Maple Mountain, you're thinking run. Can the Viking defense keep them from gaining 1 yard on 3rd and 1? Loading the box as the handoff bounces outside, picks up the first down, tripped up at the marker. Huge trip for the Vikings. Could have been a touchdown.
That's running back on the play, Lyndon Robinson, as me and you were about to say it at the exact same time.
As been a couple of times where the Viking defensive line has almost rushed to the line right before the snap. The toss out goes nowhere if not backwards for the Golden Eagles. Keeps them from gaining anything. Loss of a yard makes it 2nd and 11. 9:50 left in the third quarter. Still a lot of time left in the game for Maple Mountain to start getting something going. Only down by a touchdown. That's crazy. Pleasant Grove scored 3 times, and it's still a 1-score game. The dangerous pass. That could have been huge for the Golden Eagles. Pass dropped by Cruz Serra. He was well beyond the first down marker and didn't really have anybody close to him. I think the closest guy was about 3 or 4 yards away. And based on what we've seen today, Cruz Serra is pretty fast. That could have been deadly.
Yeah.
It could have been bad, if not deadly. Interesting fact right now, Cruz Serra is listed as a quarterback and tight end on Max Preps. Interesting that freshman is back there for the Golden Eagles and not the senior.
As pass looking deep and is caught.
Huge play for the Eagles. Brooks Ross on the reception, flips the field, and sets the Eagles up with some momentum. I keep saying Eagles. It's the Golden Eagles. Getting set up on the 38-yard line of the Vikings. Huge threat to score now. There's a quick run, goes nowhere. Met in the backfield, loses a yard. Makes it second and long for the Eagles. Did it again. It's the Golden Eagles. A short gain for Maple Mountain.
The running back on the play, number 20, Braden Glassford.
Empty backfield for Maple Mountain. Trips left, Twins right. The Viking line breaks through immediately, and Cole Allred just has to throw it away. It could have been terrible for Maple Mountain. 8.5 minutes left, arguably in field goal range, not wanting to lose any yards. Be about a 42-yard field goal. No, wouldn't it be at least a 45-yard field goal?
As Maple Mountain coming out in the second half, already showing him that they really like running the ball, as they just had the pass looking deep into the end zone. And it's
overthrown. Flag comes in.
Potential PI, maybe?
The Viking stands unhappy about the potential DPI. Waiting for the official call. Pass interference on the Vikings. That will give Maple Mountain a first down. As now deep, or not deep in the red zone, on the red zone line. This game has been so crazy I can't think of any football terms anymore. Ball on the 20 for Maple Mountain, maybe the 21. Looking to score and potentially tie this up.
This game's just been all over the place. It's so hard.
Started off terribly for both teams with 3 terrible injuries, 2 for Maple Mountain, 1 for Pleasant Grove. As the screen almost gets taken down in the backfield. It's brought down after a gain of about 3. As that is a good sign for the Viking defense getting the stop. Now the snap almost overthrows his man. Ball comes out. Incomplete pass. Huge hit by the DB. Bo Goodman, I believe, on the hit. The linebacker, correction, knocking the ball free, making it 3rd and 8 for Maple Mountain. The Viking fans showing their support, making some noise, trying to make it as hard as possible on Maple Mountain. Quick pass, incomplete, nearly picked off by Bo Goodman.
I was gonna say that almost looked like a pick.
Bo Goodman has balled out for the Vikings on the last 2 plays. The captain of the squad, one of the captains of the squad rather, forcing the incompletion on the previous play. And then almost picking it off there. That could have been huge. Now Maple Mountain on to try a field goal. Correction, Cohen Vose on the breakup. The Vikings block the field goal, scooped up by the kicker who goes down. Blocked on the play by Dexton Nuttall off of the end. Huge rush Incredible blocked field goal. The Vikings getting one of their own as payback for last week. Different team, of course, but it still feels good if you're on that sideline to walk away benefiting from the blocked field goal instead of losing from it. Viking ball at the 25. Wow, that was a huge play by Dexton Nuttall to block it.
2 blocks in one game for Pleasant Grove. One on the punt to give them a safety, and now on a field goal to give them the ball on the 25-yard line.
Now empty backfield for the Vikings. Huge amounts of momentum gained. Man comes into motion.
Connor Barr taking himself up in the pocket.
Gains about 7. Makes it second rather, and third for the Vikings. Big run by Connor Ibarra. Now Tavake Wolfgram will join him in the backfield. Twins on both sides. Drops back to pass. Goes deep and takes a huge hit. Pass almost intercepted by the DB as
the intended receiver on the play, number 22, Carter Wilkes.
Now for the Vikings, lined up weird, timeout called by the Vikings. First of the half, again calling it early. We saw them do this last week. Didn't ultimately come back to haunt them, but it's still not anything that a coach wants to do. There's 7 minutes left in the third quarter.
I feel like it's always around this time, too, where we've seen Pleasant Grove call the timeout. I don't know if it's just a strategy they have, but as far as me and you both know, Coleman, last game against Green Canyon, them calling a timeout this early did not help them whatsoever.
Yeah. Just, if it's a strategy move, it's an interesting strategy to say the least. Timeouts can be a huge thing. Now, if it comes down to it and it's a close game, the Vikings potentially can't force a punt from Maple Mountain or get the ball back if they need it.
And you still have 7 minutes left in the third quarter and then another 12 going into the fourth.
Now a timeout called again by the Vikings. Maybe the coach not seeing something he doesn't like. Correction. Just an interesting series calling back-to-back timeouts on offense in the third quarter. Up by 8. Just
now Pleasant Grove only down to 1 timeout left.
Now, this is just a confidence move in your defense. If you don't call your 2 timeouts, if you don't think that your defense can keep them scoreless or to a field goal.
Yeah.
And also, you have to trust that your offense is about to march down and score. If not on this drive, on the next one, because having 1 timeout late in the fourth quarter, potentially in a close game, this could be a huge mistake by the Vikings. It could cost them the game, potentially. It's a 1-score game, and you just blew 2 of your timeouts
like that
in the middle of the third quarter, and now out of the sudden, just like that,
and it's not like there was a break in between the timeouts. It was timeout, get on the field, and never mind, let's call a timeout again.
And now lining up in the same formation as right before they call timeout. Man goes into motion. They hand it off for a pretty big gain. It looked like the runner fumbled for a second. And I gotta say, that being what you come up with after calling back-to-back timeouts isn't the firework that it seemed like you were building up to.
Yeah.
Like, if you call back-to-back timeouts, it's because you have something wrong on a deep shot, not because you need a run play. Then the immediate next play, they go backwards. Just an interesting decisions were made by the Vikings, and I don't know that I agree with the coaches in calling those 2 timeouts.
I don't either, and the only reasons I can think they would either call the timeouts is, 1, coach didn't like what he was seeing, or 2, Connor Ibarra couldn't hear the coach on the play call. And you don't want to go on that field and just run a random play call and hope everyone's on the same pace as Connor Ibarra gets Maple Mountain to jump.
Offsides. 5-yard penalty.
Now, Vikings getting 2nd and 5 with 6 minutes left in the quarter. 18 minutes left in the game, only having 1 timeout. At this point, it's kind of just who the coaches are. They've done this on back-to-back weeks, at least, as the Viking fans believing a member of Maple Mountain jumped on the motion. A quick pass, dangerous pass, almost picked off, batted down by the intended receiver, Rocky Wilcox. If Rocky Wilcox doesn't hit that ball down, that is an interception for Maple Mountain, and things go from weird to bad to potentially terrible for the Vikings.
Yeah.
Now, empty backfield for Ibarra. Trying to get Maple Mountain to jump. They have not moved. Standing like statues on the fake call. The snap is a quarterback draw by Connor Ibarra. Gets most of the way, marked a yard short. Makes it 4th and 1. Based on how it went last week, the Vikings are going to go for this, as nobody came off the bench. The Vikings are definitely going for it on 4th and 1. As if this doesn't work, this drive is going to be incredibly consequential, burning 2 Viking timeouts and 2 minutes off of the clock.
Yeah, 100%. And I mean, even if this play does work, burning 2 timeouts just won't be beneficial for you probably at all if it's a close game still, going late into the 4th quarter, as Connor Ibarra fakes the handoff to Tavake Wolfgram. Connor Ibarra fakes out the defender, going deep to Ryder Huntsman. Ryder Huntsman cannot make the catch as it just goes right out of his hands.
Tipped by a defender. 21 for Maple Mountain. Gavin Mitchell on the breakup. As now that drive for the Vikings ends up being all for naught. And the only thing that comes out of it is you're down by 2 timeouts.
Yeah.
In that situation, I would say that you just take a delay game and call Ibarra over to the sideline and tell him what the play call is from there. There's no need to burn your 2 timeout. Now you have a timeout left for the rest of the game. If Maple Mountain scores here, the Vikings are potentially screwed. As just an interesting couple of decisions that are most likely going to be huge. This game is very close. Gain of about 2 on the run for the Golden Eagles. Lyndon Robinson on the carry gives the Eagles a 2nd and 8. Maybe 2nd and 9. Now the handoff picks up about 4 yards. As Maple Mountain has shown all game, it doesn't matter how much they're getting per rush, they will lean on the run game.
Yeah.
And eventually they'll make you pay. They had on that last drive before the Vikings forced a turnover on downs, they had 2 big passing plays that were built off of play action, because the defense just had no choice for the Vikings to go after the rusher because he can make them pay. The speed option gains about 2 for the Golden Eagles, makes it 4th down and about 3. As now it looks like the Golden Eagles taking a page out of the Vikings playbook, going for it on 4th and long.
As I'm sorry, I'm still really stuck up on why we would call the 2 timeouts. As
That's a mystery
right.
that's only going to be known to the coaches on the sideline.
Yeah, as Maple Mountain getting ready to take 4th and long.
The Viking fans
Or 4th and 2.
making their feelings known on this play and making noise. Timeout taken by Maple Mountain this time.
As
Brings them down to 2 as now both teams using a timeout in the 3rd quarter. Vikings using 2 of them.
Pleasant Grove can't afford to use another timeout till 4th quarter.
If the Vikings are in a situation with 2:51 left in the 3rd where they need to call a timeout, something has gone horribly wrong.
Yeah.
In that
100%.
situation, you just take the delay of game and punt it. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter what down it. It'll probably be late in the downs. You just take a delay of game and punt it.
Yeah. You can't afford to call a timeout now.
You need to hold on to that timeout for if Maple Mountain can find a way to score. Honestly, it's why calling 2 of them was such a weird decision.
Because, well, and you think about it now, too, like you were talking about, hypothetically, if we go into the 4th quarter, it's a close game. Say you only have 2 minutes left. Let's just start around 10. Say there's only 2 minutes left. It's a close game. If you want to have to stop clock, you have to go out of bounds as much as you possibly can and save that timeout.
There's a sack by the Vikings. Turnover on downs. 1st down for the Vikings on the tackle.
As the sack by Jackson Mortensen.
And Cannon Smith causes the turnover, gives the Vikings a 1st down. We talk about the 2 timeouts being huge. Maybe it's not going to be a big deal. The Viking defense clearly proving capable of taking Maple Mountain's offense out of the game. It is 8-0. The bigger concern, if you're the Vikings, in my mind, is can your offense score a touchdown? It has been field goal, safety. Not in that order, but it was field goal, safety, field goal. Made it 8-0 now. You have yet to score on offense.
Yeah.
The last time the Vikings scored a touchdown on offense was last week, and the PAT got blocked as Connor Ibarra takes a big sack. Takes it back to the 32-yard line, 33-yard line. Maple Mountain thought that they had the ball, as if this drive stalls out, maybe the Vikings should consider pulling Ibarra and putting in one of their backups. They have 2 seniors on the bench right now and another junior. There's just been so many times where the Vikings have lined up and Ibarra has looked lost. And the whole offense looks like they don't know what the play call is.
Yeah. And that's what's caused the coaches to call the timeouts.
If that happens and it gets late in the play clock, which, again, is not on the field. I do not know how much time is left on the play clock.
I believe we used to have a play clock on the field.
I can see the screen. It's just not turned on.
Oh.
The play clock is off on the field, being kept by the officials. Minute 30 left in the 3rd quarter. Those 2 timeouts could be huge, not because the defense needs to stop, because the offense needs to drive. Ibarra missing a target again. At what point, if not this drive, do you think that it's on Ibarra, if ever?
It's a hard question to answer. I don't know.
Now 4th and 18.
I think, kind of ignoring the question, but keeping Connor Ibarra in and not subbing him out for a different quarterback, I think is a smart decision. Connor Ibarra, yes, has gotten sacked quite a bit this game, not a bunch, but a couple of times. But he knows he can get out of the pocket. He knows he can avoid a sack, and he's quick. He is a hard person to tackle when he is running.
But his willingness to run out might be costing the Viking offense more than it's helping them.
I agree with that. 100%
If the defense knows that a quarterback wants to roll out, they can start to game plan for how to stop a quarterback to roll out. You put your middle linebacker on a spy.
Yeah.
It's that simple. You put a linebacker on a spy on the quarterback, and his whole job is just whatever direction the quarterback goes, you follow. And as long as you have a decent middle linebacker, or not even a middle, as long as you have a decent backer, you can pretty easily shut down a fast quarterback. I guess my real question is, at what point do you go from trusting your guy to, because of his legs, to we just need arm strength out there? Do we have a stronger arm?
I think, I don't know. I feel like all of the quarterbacks on Pleasant Grove has a strong arm. Like Connor Ibarra, he's the only quarterback, not the only quarterback we've seen, but the main quarterback we have seen throughout the games. He has an arm, and I think you can back me up when I say this. He has proven he can throw it deep. It's a lot of times when we've thrown it deep, it has been inaccurate and overthrown, but if he can get those passes accurate, he can throw deep.
As the run bounced outside, gets stopped by the Viking offense. Makes it 3rd down and about 7 for the offense for Maple Mountain. They do not have to run another play, as it looks like they won't. Going back to, I guess, my own question, going deep isn't going to be the thing that helps you win the game. It's going to be those short screens that the Vikings love to run, where they send the line to the left and then throw it to the receiver over the middle. And Connor Ibarra has missed a couple of throws behind or short of his receiver on those plays. Just at what point, if you're the Vikings, do you think, let's at least try this other guy and see if he can hit those throws more consistently, even if he's a little slower?
I think if we're going to be going for the short passes and those screens, I think maybe soon, if Connor Ibarra can't prove that he can get those passes off. But also, adding on to that question, if they do end up bringing a new quarterback in, who do the Vikings bring in? Because we have Cannon Jacobson, we have Drake Stanley, and we have the freshman we have Jet Christopherson as well. Like, we have a lot of good talent on our quarterbacks. And we have Brighton
Balser,
thank you.
listed on Max Preps at quarterback for the Vikings. Drake Stanley, Brighton Balser, Cannon Jacobson,
Connor Ibarra,
and Jet Christopherson. Christopherson.
And we did see Jet play last year, and Jet knows what he's doing. He knows what type of reads to make. So does every quarterback on the Vikings. Jet would be also a very smart option to put in if maybe trying to go for those short passes, like you were saying, those short screens.
As pass incomplete, intended for Alexander Vodoratsky.
And broken up by number 9, Adam Wright.
As now the punt team on for Maple Mountain. Maybe we're making too big of a deal out of the timeouts, because so far Maple Mountain unable to score off of them.
Yeah. Oh, no.
Or not off of the timeout. Unable to just score on the Viking defense. Punt nearly gets blocked again. Lands at the 47. Rolls down to the 34, maybe 33. And that is where the Vikings will start. 1st and 10, up by 8 in the 4th quarter. Ibarra in the backfield for the Vikings.
Puts Adam Wright in motion.
Keeps it himself and gains about 4, maybe 5 on the play.
As I want to go back to what you're saying, maybe we are making maybe a little bit too big of a deal about the timeouts, but it's also hard to say that we're not, because we've seen it before where they call just one timeout with 9 minutes left in the third quarter or the first quarter, and it's affected them pretty badly too, as we've lost all three games that they have played.
As he gains about 4 or 5 yards on the play, it's going to be 3rd and 2 for the Vikings. As maybe the timeouts aren't as big of a deal as we're making it. It's just calling 2 timeouts in the third quarter back-to-back is an unusual strategy, to say the least.
Yeah.
And going back to our Connor Ibarra discussion, plays like that are what make this conversation so hard, because he can beat teams with his legs, as he just showed 2 plays ago. But he also tends to be like over willing to pull the ball, to keep the ball almost. Like, as the Vikings call their 3rd timeout with 10:20 left in the game. That could be huge. Again, maybe we're making too big a deal of it. The defense has kept Maple Mountain out of the end zone all game, but you're only up by 1 score in the 4th quarter. You blew 2 of your timeouts in the 3rd. Granted, I guess you call the 4th timeout. You call the 3rd timeout in the 4th quarter, is what I meant to say. But there's 10.5 minutes in the game still. Maple Mountain can go down and score, and if they do it 8 minutes from now, you're kind of screwed.
Yeah, and Maple Mountain has 2 timeouts left still. And hypothetically, if Maple Mountain scores and Pleasant Grove needs to stop the clock, they have no choice but to go out of bounds.
Or to spike it, and you only have 3 plays to get a first down.
Yeah.
Which the Vikings have shown pretty much all game that they need 4 plays to get a first down. Like, if potentially the Vikings need to get into field goal range from the 35 and they get tackled in the open field.
As Wolfgram making a huge gain for the Vikings on the run.
They get tackled in the open field in this hypothetical. They don't really have any options. They just have to go quick and try to get a snap off. There's 10, 15, and counting left in the game. Vikings up by 8. Still looking to score an offensive touchdown. Tavake Wolfgram gaining 2 yards on the play. It'll be 2nd down and 8.
As Pleasant Grove, the first play, what do you think? We've seen their pass game, and we've seen both their run games. What do you think is probably their strongest suit, and what do you think they should keep sticking with, as Pleasant Grove has ran it back-to-back times with Wolfgram just getting brought back so many times? As I feel like, you can correct me if I'm wrong, this entire game for Pleasant Grove, when they have ran it, they've had good plays, but I feel like most of the time it hasn't gone anywhere. And they gain, it's not consistent. They're either gaining 5 yards or they're gaining 1 or losing.
That's not even just in the run game. That's basically described all night. As Ibarra fumbles on a sack, able to recover it. As you were saying, gain 2 yards, gain 0, go back 6. As Ibarra, slow to get up, took a huge hit to cause the fumble, able to dive on it, holding his hip. We might see a new quarterback for the Vikings out of necessity.
Yeah.
As, going back to your point, all game for the Vikings, it's been small to decent gain of nothing, go back due to penalty or just loss of yards on the next play.
It's been all over the place for the Vikings. Same with Maple Mountain. It's been all over the place for both teams.
It's the return man taken down. at the 18-yard line by the Viking punt team.
I mean, Pleasant Grove is up 8 points. They're up.
It's crazy how we're talking about the team that's winning the game right now.
Yeah. As Pleasant Grove still has so much momentum, but it's so hard to be like, yes, they're winning, but without any timeouts left. And obviously, like we've been saying, maybe we're being too harsh on the timeouts, but Maple Mountain still has two timeouts to prove themselves and get themselves back in this game, as they do have to score and then score again pretty much.
And a point that I made early in this game was that the Viking offense does not stay on the field for very long and doesn't let the defense get a chance to catch its breath. If your defense gets tired in the fourth quarter, if the Viking defense gets tired in this fourth quarter, the Maple Mountain offense could go down and score those 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And then the Viking offense so far has not proven that they can go down and score. All of their points being special team points is crazy in the fourth quarter of the game. When was the last time you saw a football game be scored 8-0 off of 2 field goals and a safety?
Never, bro. But
I think the Bears might have done it in like 2020, and then they gave up a touchdown, as the rollout right is a completion for a first down for the Golden Eagles.
Going back to what you're saying though, Coleman, it goes for both teams. You don't let your defense rest. And they get tired in the fourth quarter. It's going to be bad. You don't let your offense rest enough. It can be bad for your offense. And we've seen it from Pleasant Grove. We've seen it from Maple Mountain and other teams. Most of the time, most of your offensive players are playing both sides of the ball. We have Adam Wright out there playing corner. We have Ryder Huntsman out there playing corner. I can't see any other numbers. But
to your point, Tavake Wolfgram is listed as a running back and a linebacker for the Vikings. Now, he hasn't really played a snap of linebacker, but if you get to a point where you need your running back to go out there and play linebacker, your defense is tired.
Yeah.
And at that point, it's really easy for an opposing offense to go, okay, and then just march down and score.
100%, and that goes for both teams.
As empty backfield for the Golden Eagles. Trips left, Twins right.
As Maple Mountain needs to make something this drive.
High pass on the wide receiver screen. It's taken down at the line of scrimmage. It's going to be 4th and 10. 3rd and 10, correction.
As 6:41 left to play, Maple Mountain has to get something this drive. I know I've said it so many times. If they don't get anything this drive, they will have probably one last chance to get themselves on the board.
And again, there's been so many times this game where the defensive linemen for the Vikings have been 4 yards back until like 3 seconds before the snap. As huge sack for the Vikings. It's going to make it 4th and a mile for the Golden Eagles. Maybe the timeouts and the offensive issues aren't the problem. Maybe that was a move of confidence. I can beat y'all without timeouts.
As now Maple Mountain in a 4th and 20 situation, bringing out the punt team. Depending on how much time Pleasant Grove can take off the clock here, potentially giving Maple Mountain just enough time to run one more drive and get themselves on the board. And if they do end up scoring, get to 6 points, they have to go for a 2-point conversion no matter what. As Dexton Noller trying to return the ball and gets tackled around the 46-yard line.
That is good to great field position for the Vikings. 5.5 minutes exactly left in the game.
As if Pleasant Grove can get a touchdown here or potentially a field goal, if they can move down the line, that pretty much seals the game, as Maple Mountain would have to score, get a 2-point conversion, and then bring it back.
Number 8, Ethan Passy, falling to the ground on the Vikings sideline, being checked out by the team staff. Hopefully not another serious injury that has, as we mentioned earlier, plagued this game. Ibarra in the backfield gives it for a short gain. Usually in this situation, the question is, do you have enough yardage? I don't know that the Vikings have a strong enough offense to drain enough clock to put Maple Mountain in a serious 2-minute drill.
And I think if Pleasant Grove can push out just this first down and another first down, they'll be potentially in field goal range and scoring range potentially for a touchdown, as Tavake Wolfram trying to make as much yardage as possible. As I think if you're Pleasant Grove right now, you got to make yardage, but you also have to try to take as much time off the clock as possible. If Maple Mountain does get one more drive off and they end up scoring, they have a chance to tie it and potentially send it into overtime if no other teams can score.
And theoretically, right now, without a first down, the most amount of time the Vikings could take off is 80 seconds, which is not a lot with 4.5 minutes left. That is a minute 20.
As Connor Ibarra looking, as the pass will be caught, but just short of the first down.
It's going to be fourth and one.
As Pleasant Grove,
no doubt going for it.
Yeah, 100%, as they've gone for it almost every time.
Most likely a run up the middle, too. And Maple Mountain knows it. Maple Mountain putting 7 in the box on the handoff. Does not matter. Tavake Wolfgram
fighting himself in for the first down.
Wolfgram straight ahead for another Viking.
As that's huge for Pleasant Grove. Pleasant Grove now has to only burn 3 minutes, and it's possible. It will be hard, but I think if you're Pleasant Grove, you just got to go down and get more points on the board.
Whistle was blown. Incorrect spot after the run. Still first down Vikings. Tavake was given an extra yard or so on the spot. Fake handoff by Ibarra. Gets it back to the original line of scrimmage, but not much further. Might have even lost a yard.
As
correction, Tavake Wolfgram on the Wildcat takes it up the middle. Might have gotten a yard. As Connor Ibarra checked out before that play. Now 2nd and 10 for the Vikings. 2:50 and change left in the game. Both teams looking for their first win. Could it be on the back of the special teams unit that the Vikings go to 1-3 and 1-0 in region?
That would be huge. As I also want to say, just hopefully Ethan Passy is okay. Don't really know what happened. It looked like the last defensive play he had his hands on the knees as he is on the sideline on the bench sitting down. But as you did say, Coleman, I didn't see it. He did collapse on the sideline. As hopefully he's okay as the pass is tipped, but not intercepted, as Pleasant Grove is going to be able to save Connor Ibarra from the interception.
I don't get, maybe it was just instinct, but on that play, I don't get why you catch it and you don't just hit it into the ground. The incompletion moves the ball back up. You catch it already 3 yards behind the line of scrimmage, and then you lose another yard or two on the tackle. Took you from 3rd and 6, correction. Now you're punting it on 4th and 10. Timeout called by Maple Mountain.
As now Maple Mountain only has one more timeout and only a minute 51 left to play in the fourth quarter. This is where Maple Mountain has to score. If they don't score here, it will result most likely into a Pleasant Grove Vikings win. Unless somehow Maple Mountain, if they have to go back on defense, can stop Pleasant Grove. But all Pleasant Grove really has to do is just burn the clock and then potentially just do a QB kneel and end the game there.
And this is potentially where those timeouts that we've been harping on come back to haunt the Vikings. As now, if Maple Mountain gets into the red zone and has momentum, you don't have a chance to call a timeout to at least put in fresh legs or let your guys out there catch a breath. As now it is really do or die for Maple Mountain. the worst case scenario right now as Pleasant Grove lines up to go for it. Maple Mountain in a punt defense. Ibarra drops back to pass, rolling out to the left. Chucks it downfield. Wide open man is caught. Touchdown, Adam Vikings. There is the offensive touchdown the Vikings have been looking for. A little bit of a trick from the offense, lining up to punt before the timeout, rolling out there after Maple Mountain sets their punt defense. Maple Mountain never got a chance to be set. The wide receiver deep to return was the man on Adam Wright. Touchdown for the Vikings, 14-0, PAT pending, as now, if you're Maple Mountain, the game is potentially over. You're needing 2 touchdowns, 1:41 left in the game. Vikings, a minute and, I don't know why I started saying a minute, sub 2 minutes away from their first win of the season and being 1-0 in region. Arguably the most important part of the season.
As the extra point is good. As I talked about it earlier, Connor Ibarra can roll out of the pocket and he can throw deep. And he just proved it right there, throwing it to Adam Wright for the touchdown, making the score 15-0.
I'll be the adult, Connor Ibarra. I was wrong about you. I am sorry, man. You just proved me wrong in real time.
As TJ Ashby getting ready to kick it off.
Deep kickoff, muffed by the return man, who is in no man's land now. Blows past the Vikings. Dangerous return past the 45. Pushed out at the Viking 45. Big play by the kicker to stop a potential kick return touchdown. That could have been huge and given Maple Mountain the one touchdown they needed to be right back in this thing. Now, if you're the Golden Eagles, I don't know that you have a chance. Down by 2 with sub 2 minutes.
You have to make a play here right now and stop Pleasant Grove somehow. As Pleasant Grove has so much momentum on them right now that they're gonna be so hard to stop.
Pass batted down at the line, hit by Tristan Hughes off of the end. The senior, 6'2", putting a big hand up and blocking the pass, batting the pass into the ground rather. As now the Vikings, minute 24, second down and 10. Not hoping for a stop here to guarantee their win. It's pretty much already in hand. It would be a disaster for the Vikings if the Golden Eagles found a way to win this game.
As Pleasant Grove coming down with the sack on the quarterback, number 16, Cole Allred. As I also do want to apologize. I am on the play where we just scored with Adam Wright. If anyone had headphones on, I just completely screamed in your ear, and I am very sorry.
The drop back for the Golden Eagles.
Already rolling
out. Pass caught for a first down. This is huge. Clock running. 58 seconds. It'll stop for a moment to reset the chains. Maple Mountain needing to get a snap off before it can start rolling again.
As the catch was made by number 12, Carson Hill. As Allred getting ready to hike the ball. Allred rolling out. Allred's taking out the pocket and getting brought down by the D-line of Pleasant Grove.
Gaining about a yard on the tackle.
Getting brought down by number 46, Max Hall, the senior, the linebacker.
Now Maple Mountain taking their last timeout, 37.5 seconds left. Very little heartbeat left for the Golden Eagles. Vikings getting ready to put this one in the left-hand column for the first time this season. Getting ready to finally get a win percentage above 0. And for Maple Mountain, really just a downward spiral, potentially. The impeccable timing of going for it on 4th and 10, giving the Vikings a touchdown, making it 15-0. Maple Mountain can feel that this is out of reach. There is no other word to describe it. There is very little hope and very little heartbeat left in the Maple Mountain offense.
100% Maple Mountain at this point just wanting to put points on the board to reduce the lead.
The Viking student section clearing the area, getting ready to storm the field. They can smell it now. Less than 40 seconds away. Deep shot for the end zone. Touchdown.
Maple Mountain.
Golden Eagles, 31 seconds left.
Number 1, Kyron Jones.
If you're the Golden Eagles, is this where you go for 2?
You have to. You have no other choice.
As for the Viking defense,
As flags on the play. Double flags on the play, late flags.
potentially more unsportsmanlike conduct. If it's on both teams, it would offset, and it would just be a normal PAT. Potentially, this could move the kickoff back. Wow, I stopped being able to talk at the worst possible time. Offsetting unsportsmanlike conducts. Wow, I cannot talk ball right now, apparently. 30.8 seconds left for the Golden Eagles. Rolling out the field goal unit, needing to get an extra touchdown off of a potential onside kick, as this would make it 7-15. Needing a touchdown and an extra, and a 2-point rather. So they get the PAT.
As now, when Pleasant Grove gets the ball back, all they have to do is QB
It is
kneel.
no good.
Really?
I thought that
it
went
was good.
through. Official signaling no good. Must have been wide left. From our angle, it looked like it went right through.
Yeah.
That is disastrous. If you're Maple Mountain, now your best shot on a 2-point is you're down by 1. It is game over.
Yeah, now all Pleasant Grove has to do is take a knee.
If you get a 2-point conversion for Maple Mountain now, it is 15-14. That safety, shockingly, has turned out to be a huge special teams play by the Vikings, as now getting a 2-point of their own for Maple Mountain would not do anything.
Pleasant Grove, I'm sorry. I can speak on Coleman's behalf probably. We are sorry for talking about the timeouts, because obviously it hasn't affected us.
I apologize for my doubts.
Pleasant Grove being able to stop them on defense. Maple Mountain does have themselves on the board, but now that seals the game, as that is just going to go to Pleasant Grove. All Pleasant Grove has to do is kneel the ball, as Maple Mountain is going to go onside, and the ball goes.
Whistle's blown. I don't think that the officials were ready for the kickoff. The line judge was standing right in front of the football.
As Maple Mountain coach is not happy with the call, as they're going to make Maple Mountain redo the onside kick.
Correction, the back judge was in front of the ball. As 8 people on the 50 for the Vikings, clearly going onside recover. Kicks it over and out of bounds. That will be an illegal kick out of bounds. It is Vikings ball. They just need to take a knee and the game will be over, and the Vikings can put this one in as their first win of the season. Again, the Viking student section hanging over the bleachers, or hanging over the railing basically, getting ready to storm the field to celebrate with their team, getting their first win of the season after losing to American Fork, Westlake, and Green Canyon, again in a heartbreaker last week. Coming out with this one, putting it away, and getting the victory, as there are a few people that are defensive linemen in for the Vikings right now on the offensive line, namely number 50, Matt Frankham, listed as a defensive end, as the Vikings will run it, and that should about do it. The clock will hit 0. Maple Mountain cannot stop it. And the Vikings will win and begin celebrating their first victory of the season and first win in their first game as a 5A region in 5A regions.
Pleasant Grove now being 1-3, being 0-2 away, and now 1-2 at home. Pleasant Grove putting on a tough matchup for against Maple Mountain today, as Maple Mountain not being able to move the ball really at all against Pleasant Grove's defense, and Pleasant Grove started off slow at the start, and I was saying it a little bit, so are you, Coleman. When they get past, especially on the kickoffs, when we start on the 25-yard line, when they end up moving and they get past that 25-yard line, that's when they're so hard to stop. That's when they get their momentum, and that's where they start going off. And they proved it there that they're a hard team to stop, especially the run game. Tavake Wolfgram is a really good running back, and he's only a sophomore, has so much more time to improve. And Connor Ibarra, we talked about it, rolling out is sometimes questionable, sometimes really good, and we saw it at the end where Maple Mountain lined up in the punt formation, and Connor Ibarra ended up having to roll out and threw deep to Adam Wright for the touchdown that get Pleasant Grove up to 15. But Pleasant Grove, in all talk, just putting on a very hard matchup against Maple Mountain.
Is now the fans storming the field, celebrating with their team, and you can't blame them. First game in region as a 5A school is the first win for the Vikings on the year. Up next, the Vikings will play at Springville September 12th at 7 p.m. And for the visiting Maple Mountain Golden Eagles, they will play at Payson that same day and that same time, September 12th at 7 p.m. As really a close game for really 3.5 quarters, turning into a great Viking win, 15-6, off of 2 field goals. Again, this is the craziest box score I have ever seen at a football game.
100%.
Field goal, blocked punt, safety, field goal, touchdown.
And we blocked one of their field goals to not put them on the board till the very end of the game.
That's true. It could have been 15-9, and it's a very different story because Maple Mountain on that touchdown could have scored 10, and it would only be a 5-point game right now.
And I mean, you never know. Maybe that field goal could have maybe changed the game.
Could have given Maple Mountain more momentum. That's a hard sentence to say.
As Pleasant Grove coming out with the win, 15-6. As I said, Pleasant Grove being 0-2 away, and now 1-2 at home. As Coleman, do you have anything else that you would like to say about the game?
Yeah, this is a great performance of just determination on all 3 phases of Viking football, not letting their offensive woes stop them from going out and scoring that touchdown on their last real possession, I guess. The defense not giving up when the offense couldn't put up points, and the special teams being a huge bright spot for the first 75% plus of this game, putting up the first 8 points before the offense scored a touchdown.
100%.
Just
It was a wild game to start. Well, for the final time today, I am Zane Garothy.
I am Coleman Keel.
And we will see you September 12th, 7 p.m. at Springville.